Hi guys, yeah, same shirt, and it means that I'm just recording on the same day, but yeah, because it's a different topic, so that's why I just put it up. Yeah, so as you can see, the topic I want to discuss about is always in our family pledge number 8. We'll just recite and we mention about the absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience, and also what happened in our church. And yeah, I mean, a lot of time, yeah, when we having an ideal situation, and a lot of time people just see the ideal result and they don't think about what is the process before that, or like what is the requirements, what is the condition before that for them to form the ideal situation. Usually, the leaderships a lot of times for their own sake to hand in the result, so they will just push the result and doing nothing. And the same as the issue for the absolute love, absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience. Yep. In Korean, we say 주대 신앙, 주대 사랑, 주대 보충. Yeah. So that's absolute. And why we need to use the word absolute? So when we're talking about the absolute, we are not talking about saying that forcefully absolute, but we just say that the standards wise, the standards of idea for you to acquire this kind of state, and it's something that is supposed to happen normally, but at the same time it's hard to happen. So that's why we're always calling it ideal situation. It's not like the something that reality that can just easily happening everywhere. Why it's difficult? Because they don't use the right methods. So for my understanding, a lot of leaders have different talking to say that you need to have absolute faith, and basically the absolute faith equals to the absolute obedience, and the action you do is the absolute love. For me, no, that's wrong. Like absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience actually is a sequence thingy. First, you have a reason, then you have an action, then you have a result. Just like our four position foundation, I already mentioned about there's three stages of it. There is the origin, there's the division, then you have the union. And why there will be three phases of it: absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience. So there's something that when we all want to come into union, and here I also need to talk about the unification thought that a lot of leaders don't try to mention about it because they don't study it. Firstly, secondly, they don't want to even admit that they need to change the system because the system bring them more benefit in a way when people are staying stupid or staying um, not educated. I would say, yeah, no education itself is the best way to control people because people stay stupid. Whatever leaders say, absolute. And that is totally wrong, I would say. And okay, talking about the unification thought, talking about the four position foundation, they have a concept inside of it. Is the four position foundation when we say centering on God, actually God also have the internal God and external God. We already say the internal uh, value and also the external form, and that's why we say God also, when God wants to push the providence or move the providence, he also needs to have these both aspects to be done at the same time. So firstly, on the internal level, which is coming from his heart. And what does his heart want to do? He want to just collecting everyone's heart, God's heart and also our original heart together, and we do interaction with each other, and we got a common base that is called a union. When I say union itself, it's not just like, oh, we become one, like we become united into one entity, like we having the same concepts emotionally, and we having the same raw feelings that we can just move together and we feel that we are connected. This is the union. And on the outside purpose, the external aspects of God is the purpose. And from God's purpose, and we have our rules and have our action plan. And in the end, what was the I call it, the result of it is the new beings. So new beings including the new structure, the new church or like new organization, the new group of people, the entity of people that can bring love towards other people. Or even we can say like the husband and wife, they have the same purpose to having kids and they put into plan making themselves disciplined and as well as like executing the plan, which is like the couple having sex for sure. That's the process they need to do, like in a very nature way. Okay. And after that they will have a baby, and the baby itself, because of their discipline and because of their love, they can try to nurture the baby and grow up and to be a much more ideal type of person. We didn't say that it's like absolutely ideal because the kids also holding the responsibility, the new beings itself, right? So that's how these two things are supposed to put into it. So absolute faith, you having something that you believe it can form. I believe that's the union I can found. I believe there's a purpose or the new beings I can make it. I absolutely love that you try to put into action. Love is not a noun. Love is a verb. Love is a verb that you are trying to invest in everything that you have in the divine principle. The subject partner who is giving the initial interaction, we call it love. So you are the one who taking up the ownership, the responsibility to give to others. That's called the love. And the others, they return with beauty. The beauty usually just the reaction from the other person and they want to interact with you. Yes, that's the beauty of it. And that's how the interaction just form. And everything's centering on God. And everyone having a one connection, not two, not many one, not indirect. This is that everyone are supposed to come from God. Your like your vertical connection is God. Maybe through your parents, with your education, but anything. But firstly, most importantly, your connection with God. It doesn't you don't fear man, you don't try to fear about the leaders, you only fear towards God. Not the God the Lord, the God the parents, heavenly parent. And why I use just T not S, because I don't want to make people confused that we are worshiping more God than one, no, only one God. But he or she is the parent. Yeah. And it's a union of it. Like we say the origin of it, like is everything inside. Yeah, so that's what I mean. And yeah, all these things just come from there. And because of the absolute faith, and after that is the absolute love, and whatever happens, I want to follow it. So that's why we call it the absolute obedience. Is surrender towards it. And this is being done. A lot of people just think that only being done by King. No, this is also need to be done by Abel. It's like the two parties of people, they need to interact together. They have the same goal. Why the same goal coming? Because of coming from the internal aspect of God. Talking about the heart, they having the union, so that's why they're having the same goal. This will be hit when they're having the same purpose and trying to create the same beings, even though they see different aspects of like different difficulties. Maybe the internal for the Abel side, maybe I don't know. Abel side looking at the internal difficulties, and the Cain side looking at the external difficulties. But sometimes it changes. Like for the Abels looking at external and Cain wants the internal. That will happen, surely. Sometimes it just happens. But then with this aspect, then they can having they won't betray each other. They will just try to find a common ground with each other every time. That's called the absolute obedience. And obedient towards the parents, and obedient, and you try to surrender yourself. The surrender is not that because you are strong and I'm weak and that's why I just give up. No, it's because that I want to be part of it, and I don't want to give up. It's not a position. It's not about like the power. No, It's about the love. I want to keep on investing onto it. I want to make myself useful in this providence. That's why I just keep on putting the love into it. But when like other people asking you not to do anymore, yeah, you put it away. You still stay in the group. You're still cooperating. When other people asking you not to do anything, you let it go. You're still cooperating. It's not that you already like totally give up and you do nothing. No, it's totally different kind of story. A lot of people just misunderstood that and they just like, oh, when I do nothing, it means that I do nothing, right? Yeah, no, not really. Yeah, so that's the thing. I want to talk about the absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience. Yeah, maybe some people will just ask, why is not the love first? Because love is not just a feeling, love is an action. So that's why you need to have an initiative. The initiative is the faith. The faith is like a spiking of the spiking of the emotion. The spiking of the emotion in our church term right now, we call it what? Hyojong. That's why True Mother keep on emphasizing Hyojong a lot of times, because this is like how you start to love the organization. This is how you start to love the people around you because of the heavenly parent, true parents. This is why how you love true parent, because you're having the vertical connection all the time. And that's why True Mother using the word children. That's very deep term. A lot of people don't even realize about it. And a lot of people just trying to just say, yeah, it's about the filial piety. In Chinese, they like to use the word 孝顺, but actually it's not 孝顺. Like, why I don't call it like 孝顺, the filial piety, because like 孝 is itself is like filial piety, and 顺 itself is like surrender. But the surrender is just much more like I'm just flowing. I'm just going with the flow. I don't do anything. I just lay out. Not in that way. Yeah. Sometimes you need to challenge. Sometimes you need to voice out, and you need to take it. You need to do all this. Why? Because you want to make the group become much more better. You want to make it much more valuable and making them see the problems, and they will just solve the problems. Then the group of the people can continue to proceed, and they can just continue to execute whatever like ideas we want to do in the future. Yeah, you need to do all this. You can't just run away and just say that, yeah, it's nothing about me because of the Abel is the one who's taking up the responsibility. No, you as a king, you also need to take up the responsibility, and don't always just think that Abel is someone who's standing up there vertical. No, you are supposed to voice it out. They can take it, this their responsibility, but you need to voice it out. And if you find it like not really working, well, then you still have your free will. You still can try to choose other teams or whatever. As long as you're serving God, you're having the faith, you're having your purpose, that what you're serving for, go for it. Yeah. That's why Reverend Kandu also keep on saying, yeah, giving love, the church mission, giving love. That's it. Yeah. That's it. That's for my sharing thoughts for today. Yeah. Hope you're finding good, and see you in my next video. See ya.